Great. And then what else do we need? We're going to need the laser blast geometry to also be a geometry light. Same thing. Drag it over here. Geom light, laser blast. I guess I might as well, for completeness, actually make this say laser main. Very good. These should have the same shadow thing that I did here for the shadow mask. Let's make sure that that's copied into that. So the laser blast, as I said, same thing as the other one, should not self-shadow. It should have this extra material on it so that I can override it, and I don't want to see it in the viewport. So let's see, what will that look like? Let's choose a frame that has a blast. So here's a blast and a laser. What will this look like when I view it as a render here? I should see some cool stuff. But I also know there's a few more render settings we're going to have to change before it's actually completely correct. So let's see what we get. We can see some light there, some blue coming from that laser blast, and not too much over here. So this is where the interactive rendering excels. I'm going to just say the laser blast, maybe it should have a much higher intensity. So I'm going to say, well, the laser itself, maybe this should be lighter, like it should be like here. So it quickly updates it. It looks brighter. Great. The laser light itself should probably also be lighter. Something like that. Then I can say, well, not only is the color lighter, but the intensity itself should probably be lighter. So for the blast, let's go up to like 10. Because again, just go big. We can always adjust it later. So now we're starting to see some stuff show up here. So 10's good. What about 100? 100's pretty big. It probably doesn't need to be that big. So let's go down to like, I don't know, 10 worked. Let's just go to 20. Let's go to an even power of 2. Well, I guess that's not quite a power of 2. No, it is a power of 2. So that's something. Now, we still want our laser one over here to also be bright. So I'm going to put this to 32. So now we can see this laser is casting a shadow on the ground, or not, a light on the ground. In order for this to be more correct, on the Mantra node itself, under rendering and sampling, this motion blur, or rather on shading, where's that? I thought it was on sampling. Where are you, motion blur? Oh, it's right above me. The shutter offset can be 1. I'm going to say the geo time samples should be 2. So for geometry like this laser over here in particular, it will help light the ground over the entire frame rather than just doing the light calculation in the one location. Now it will essentially motion blur the light. It would just look like a circle otherwise unless we did this. So there you go. So now as we skip around to different frames, it'll, load everything up. In particular, the points take a while to load up, but once they come in, the render itself is quick. Uh-oh. Get out of here. We can see another blast going on here. Well, that looks like that's the laser about to hit the ground, maybe. We'll get a much better sense of what this looks like from just doing a quick render. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say let's do a render on 2s, meaning we'll skip every other frame, and we can see some really cool stuff. You can see how the light is catching on the debris here from the ground. So that's going to be really cool. So let's come back here. So let's do it on 2s, meaning we'll come back to our Mantra node, We'll change this to 2, so it'll skip every other frame. We already have this set to half resolution. Did I turn this off? I did. And let us just run this from the side here, from the mantra sequence thing. And even before I do that, one more thing. I'm going to make the laser itself brighter. Let's see. Let me go back to something like this, 35. Let's make the laser a little bit brighter before we actually kick this off to run for a little while. Some of the stuff, we can look at this as single frames all we want, but a lot of the sense of this, because this is dynamics, we're not really going to be able to tell until we actually, see it in motion. But this laser in particular, it's cool, but I feel like my gut is already telling me that this could be brighter. So I'm kind of going to say, just multiply these numbers times 2. So now it's just kind of crazier. So that's cool. All right. Wonderful. So stop. Come back here. We're just going to run a quick little... You can save yours to disk if you want. Obviously, you can use the mantra here to save it to disk. You probably should. In fact, it's bad practice for me to say not to. So I'm just going to say, let's do that. We've got our images set up somewhere. I don't want it here. I want to put it in my job area. Job/render/ render, we'll call it render test dot f, we'll say render test version 0 dot frame number. So I'm going to run that, and then we'll look at it, and we'll make any other last minute changes that we want, and then we'll do the final high res, and then we will be done, just like that. And there we go.